Hello and welcome, everyone. Let's have a short podcast on things to keep in mind while buying a house. Now, in India, while we buy a house, it's a once in a lifetime affair. But buying a house is not easy as just buying some ordinary, valuable thing that we buy on a day-to-day basis. So, friends, the process of acquiring property, especially in India, involves a meticulous examination of various critical documents to ensure a legitimate and dispute-free transaction. Initially, the buyer must obtain and scrutinize a few documents. But before we go into the documents, let's see as to why it is critical and important to keep in mind. Why should we be very cautious while buying a property? Because real estate in India is one such sector in which there are a lot of frauds that take place, and there are a lot of people who practice frauds in this sector. So, to be away and to keep ourselves distance from all these fraud, let's see what are the things that we can focus and imply upon. First of all, a few documents that we must keep in mind. First is certified copies of the title deeds. Second, including the sale agreement. Third, khatedari numbers and ownership confirmation from the local panchayat or municipality, as the case may be. Next, if you are purchasing an agricultural land, additional documents such as girdhari papers and receipts from local government mandis are very necessary to verify the seller's claim to the property. It's also prudent to conduct a check at the district court to uncover any ongoing property disputes. Now, that we have verified or seen the initial documents, the buyer should delve into the historical land records, which may include previous agreements, power of attorney documents, government allotment letters, and reports from local officials dealing property boundaries. Now, once this is completed, the next step involves entering into a formal agreement with the seller, ideally including the seller's legal heirs as witnesses to prevent future complications. Now, this agreement should be registered with local authorities, and the buyer should initiate the mutation process in all relevant records to reflect the change in ownership. Now, once the transaction is successful, post-registration of the property, several key documents require the buyer's attention to complete the property transfer process. These include sale deed, a mutation certificate, an electronic patta issued by the Mandal Revenue Officer or the Tehsildar, and a possession certificate confirming the transfer of physical possession. Most importantly, an encumbrance certificate is also critical and crucial to ensure the property is free from legal or financial liabilities. This certificate ensures that the property's location and type. Various no objection certificates may be required from the local development authorities, municipal corporations, or housing authorities to finalize the transaction without any objections. Further, we will be dealing with 6 to 7 points. The first is the distinction in ownership between a flat versus a land purchase. Now, if we are purchasing a flat, typically confers a proportionate share in the underlying land. Please note, it is a proportionate share in the underlying land. Flat ownership includes exclusive rights to the apartment and shared ownership of the common areas. The land share is usually based on the flat's built-up area relative to the total built-up area of the building. In contrast to purchasing land grants complete ownership of the plot to the buyer. Land ownership provides full rights over the property, including development and usage decisions. So this was a bifurcation between a flat purchase and a land purchase. Second, the legal and financial implications. First of all, the stamp duty and registration fee applies to both flat and land purchases, but the rates may differ from state to state and also for the purchase of a flat and different for a land. These charges are typically based on the apartment's value and its proportionate land share. Also, please note land purchase may incur higher stamp duty due to the complete transfer of ownership rights. Also, buyers must ensure all necessary documents are properly stamped and registered to avoid legal complications. Third, property under different government bodies. The legal framework for property purchases varies significantly depending on the local government body, be it municipalities, nagarpalikas, gram panchayats, or other local authorities. Please note, each type of local government has its own set of regulations, zoning laws, and approval processes that buyers must navigate. Fourth, specific compliance requirements and considerations. Municipality areas typically require compliance with comprehensive development plans, building bylaws, and often have stricter environmental norms. Nagarpalika regions may have unique local development regulations that blend urban and rural planning principles. In Gram Panchayats, buyers must ensure compliance with rural land use policies and obtain necessary conversions for non-agricultural use. Government gift lands may require special permission for transfer or development, often involving multiple government departments. Next, water and sewage connection approvals as well as power supply clearances are essential, and therefore informing these authorities become critical because these are the authorities that will ensure that the household will have sewage, drainage, water, and electricity. And this may vary in process across different local bodies. The next part of it, impact of taxation on residential and commercial properties. Now, besides adhering to all local building bylaws and obtaining occupancy certificates, residential properties must comply with basic safety norms. On the other hand, commercial properties face stringent regulations due to their public-facing nature and potential environmental impact. Now, the impact of capital gains tax on property transactions in India is substantial, affecting both buyers and sellers. For sellers, the tax is levied on the profit made from the property sold, with different rates for short-term and long-term capital gains. Long-term capital gains benefit from indexation, which can reduce the tax burden. Buyers can indirectly affect from this, as the tax liability often influences the selling price of the properties. Now, another important facet is the impact of tax laws on gift deed of property. Please note, friends, the registration of a gift deed is mandatory under the Registration Act of 1908 for any kind of immovable property valued at ₹100 or more. Now, this process involves paying stamp duty, which varies from state to state, and a registration fee. Now, the stamp duty for gift deed is generally lower than that for sale deeds, making it an attractive option in some cases. However, please note, it's crucial to note that attempting to disguise a sale as a gift to evade higher stamp duty is illegal and can lead to severe penalties. Now, under the Income Tax Act of 1961, gifts received from specified relatives are exempt from taxes. However, gifts received from non-relatives exceeding ₹50,000 in a financial year are taxable in the hands of the recipient. There are no immediate tax implications for the donor, as gift giving is not considered a transfer for capital gains tax purposes. This can make gift deeds an effective tool for estate planning within families. Please note, it is only within families. Now, a ninja hack. For instance, if you buy an agricultural land that is comparatively less priced than a residential property or an area, please note, if you are building it or converting it into a residential area, the taxes may be high, one. But the ninja hack is, if you're buying an agricultural land, try to have a small farmhouse and let it remain as an agricultural land so that it works in your favor as well. And you save a few amount of money for your own self as well. The last, a few key documents that you must have in mind that will give a snippet of all that we have discussed. It begins with the title deed verification. Friends, the title deed is a document that legitimizes property ownership, serving as an indispensable prerequisite for any sale. Its importance cannot be overstated, as a seller is legally barred from proceeding without a property unless the title deed is impeccably clear. Next, verification process. This crucial step involves a meticulous search at the sub-registrar's office to ascertain the property's legal status. The investigation aims to confirm that disputes unburden the title and that the builder possesses full ownership rights. Next, physical document inspection. Beyond official records, it is impertinent and imperative to physically examine the document under the custodianship of the builder or landowner. The hands-on verification is vital to ensure that the property hasn't been pledged, mortgaged, hypothecated, or kept as a collateral, a status that could significantly complicate or prevent a sale. Next, comprehensive assessment. The verification process encompasses checking for any defects, shortcomings, or legal entanglements that could cast a shadow on the property's clear title. This thorough examination is designed to preempt potential legal issues and ensures a smooth, legitimate property transfer. Encumbrance certificate, once again stressing on the importance of this. This document that is issued by the sub-registrar's office reflects any existing encumbrances on the property. As the name suggests, it provides a comprehensive overview of the property's legal history and registered transaction, obtainable online, facilitating easy access for potential buyers. And this also serves as evidence of a clear title, confirming the property is free from encumbrances, liabilities, or mortgages. And it is also essential for ensuring the property is not entangled in legal disputes or outstanding dues. Now, conversion certificate, if it is for an agricultural land, is mandatory. Sanctioned building plan for essential legal construction if you're buying a flat in a society or a particular builder's township. CRC, coastal regulation clearances, we would deal on this on a next episode, and a mandatory no objection certificates and sanctions from the fire department, aviation clearance, railway, and national highway NOCs. For instance, let's say in Bangalore, the Bangalore airport is outside the city, so the Bangalore city can have high-rise buildings, but the area close to the Bangalore airport cannot have high-rise buildings because there is an airport. In contrast to Mumbai, where the airport is in between or in the heart of the city at Vilepale, you cannot have sky-high buildings in that vicinity. However, on the outskirts or on the little far away from the airport, you can have high-rise buildings. Also, if you're buying a flat, please remember it is mandatory for your flat or your developer to have a RERA registration. Mandatory from January 1st, 2020 for projects meeting specific criteria, and it applies to development of 500 square meters or more with 8 or more apartments. And this ensures alignment with current building regulations and laws, and critical for buyers to verify before purchasing new properties. Last but not the least, occupancy certificate. This is issued by the local planning authorities as final approval for building use. This confirms construction compliance with stipulated rules, certifies the building as legally fit for occupancy, and third, essential document for buyers to ensure the property's legal status and habitability. Last, friends, there is a movie in India. It's a Bollywood movie called Khosla Ka Ghosla. I would suggest please have a look at this movie, and then you would realize the kind of real estate frauds that happen in India. So please be very cautious while you're purchasing either a flat, a residential property, or an agricultural land. And we wish you to keep you informed with such topics in the coming months. Thank you.